So you are about to witness the final 2 races of the Winter Short Track Series. Timestamps right here. The last race was an extremely interesting setup because I was 1 point away from winning the entire series, but lo and behold, it turned out to be one of the most diarrhea, muddy, messy, nasty races that I have been involved with in recent memory.
I'm getting UCI police. Holy super tough.
So as you can tell, I am actually filming this in the bike shop. It's because I am out of time and I'm trying to plow through this stuff, so you have to bear with me. The way the point system work in this is pretty basic. So however many people show up, you get that amount of points, and it starts with first. So let's say 20 people show up, you get 20 points for winning. Second place would get 19. So basically you're only getting like 1 to 2 point differences depending on where you finish if you're battling in the top 5, right? Me getting first on race 3 put me within striking distance of winning the thing overall. So let's take a look at what happened on race number 4. Turned out to be a beautiful day. This is probably the best day that we had out there. It wasn't super cold, it was beautiful. But an update, they changed the course direction. That is the biggest update of all. The course was in reverse. I wanted to hit it straight from the get-go because that's what worked before, right? Why change up what worked previously? I wanted to be first in the woods this time, and as long as I was first in the woods, I wanted to hit the first lap relatively, I'd say like 70% speed in the woods. I wanted to see where everyone else was at these higher speeds. Let's see what happened.
10 seconds. 5. Go!
Most people are going to be running a similar gear. You're all going to top out at a certain top speed. Let's say that top speed's 25 miles an hour, and that's as fast as you can go because you're just not going to be able to spin anymore, right? If you want to be able to get a gap on stuff like this, you need to hit it hard and get up to that speed quicker than everyone else, and that's how you can form gaps. So that's what I did. I attacked out of the corner. Being in the woods this direction was so much more fun. I mean, look at the speeds I'm able to hold versus the other direction. I think this way just flows better. I don't think this is how they cut it or intended to run it, but it works. Everyone seemed to love it this direction. This is a steep little sucker of a climb, and you can't really see over there in the distance, but I could only see like 2 people. I was super happy about the gap that I had established.
So your leader in our single speed division, Cameron Moss, rolling across the line.
Also, this was the only race that my wife and one of my best friends and his wife came out to support me, so I wanted to make a good impression, you know? Basically, I could see Chris at this point. Chris was in second. Chris Pratt is the leader of the series at this point, so he's the one that I want to get as much distance as I can. You know, I would really enjoy if they did a series like this, but it was time-based, not points-based. I think that would be very interesting.
Come on, take it. Good job, buddy.
And honestly, I'm not gonna bore you guys with the rest of the video because I attacked from the start. I established a gap and I held it. So the race previously when I got caught and we had to actually battle it out for the win, that makes for a much more interesting video. So even though I put in a great performance, and in my opinion, I'm proud of that. I was happy with my fitness that I could just hit it off the get-go and establish a gap and hold it. I'm happy with this. It makes for a boring race if you're trying to watch something like this, right? Like you want people to get caught, you want to watch people battle each other. I get it. It also feels better too whenever you're battling someone and tactically you end up winning, like that previous race. That's always a really good feeling. It's a more memorable win than something where you just go off the front and win by a minute or something.
Crush it! Yeah!
This set up a very good potential race for the finale. The finale was a true winner short track series. Oh, if you have done this series, you know from experience that there is at least always one craptastic race. All right, first I gotta set this up, right? So this put me within 1 point of Chris Pratt. Neil, the promoter for this, always does a double points race. It was the last race this year, so as long as like I didn't win and Chris came in last or vice versa, basically, if me and him even both got mid-pack, it was whoever came in front of who was gonna win the entire series. You know, if I came in first, I definitely won the series. I get double points, and as long as he stays in front of me, he is going to get it. So we are that close in points. Being able to win a series, of course I wanted to, right? But it was pouring down rain. It rained the day before, it rained during the race, and I basically took my beloved Orbea Oys that I recently put a lot more travel on. I put 130 on the front, 120 on the rear, whereas before this was strictly a cross-country speed machine. I'm doing some bigger races. That's for a completely another video if you guys would like to see how I converted all that. I made it a single speed. I basically clipped the housing at the rear and just stuck a singulator on it because I was not gonna race the XTC that was not my bike in the crap because I didn't wanna break that bike. That's not mine, right? That's disrespectful, I'm not gonna do that. One thing to note beforehand though, I needed brake pads. They were getting low, they weren't gone, but I was not going to just start replacing like brake pads and doing all this work to the bike if it was gonna be a crap race, like it's nasty, nasty mud, right? So it didn't. We'll see how that affected me. Let's take a gander here at one of the sloppiest races I have had the pleasure of partaking in a very, very long time. Yeah. Honestly was gonna ride a little bit more reserved off the get-go. I was gonna follow some lines or follow some people, but once James came around, I knew he was gonna go a little bit hard, and then when I tried to get on his wheel, the stuff was just splattering up on me, and I said, screw it, I'm gonna be first in the woods, man. It was also 45 degrees, which 45 isn't terribly cold, but if you're underwater, it was very cold. So Sean came around me right before we hit the gravel, which in turn was underwater. And boy, this was this was terrible, man. Look at this.
Tom, the damn UCI police. Holy super tough.
So as you see, there's not gonna be a lot of good footage, but I'm gonna fill you in when I can, and I tried to wipe off my GoPro when I could. James came around me on the gravel and took off. And I had hit my brakes, but look how slow I'm going, right? I was like, something's not right. I thought about gearing down for this event because it is muddy. I was like, screw it, everyone else is running the same thing. I'm just gonna stick with it because we're all gonna be in the same boat. But it definitely felt like I was way slower on my Orbea. 29's 29, it's not gonna make that much of a difference, right? I know I've got 130 mil travel and 120 in the rear, whereas before I was on a hardtail, but that's still, it shouldn't feel this hard. Well, after the race, I started looking at my the rear end of my bike. I took a picture, I'll post it right here. Basically, when I hit the brakes on the rear end for the first time, it completely sheared off after the first mile any semblance of a pad. It was basically just the metal, and the metal got, I'm thinking because the pistons are only designed to protrude from the caliper a certain amount, it exceeded that amount. They didn't pop out, but they got stuck. So I basically was riding for the rest of this event with my rear brake on. I didn't know it at the time. I knew I needed to try my hardest to beat Chris, and this was one of my hardest efforts I've done this year, by far. So right now I'm sitting second. James isn't too far ahead of me, and I thought I could maybe catch him when we hit the mud because I seem to be doing pretty good in the mud. I've been working on my mud skills, right?
One back.
So Chris came around me here, and I could do nothing about it. I tried to catch back up, but it literally felt like my brakes were on for some reason. So Chris is in second right now. He is beating me at this point. Not that far ahead of me, but he is winning, and I am hurting, man. Just imagine trying to do a race with your brakes on. That sucked, man. So we got James first, and we got Chris second. I am in third right now, and it is starting to rain a little bit harder. So basically at one point I kind of see that Chris is sitting up a little bit, and I knew this was my only time. This was my chance. I had to dig really deep to try and catch him. Because I thought maybe if I could catch him, I could sit on his wheel for a lap and out-sprint him. I've got a good sprint. That was my plan. So I put my head down. I did the best I could, guys. I truly tried my hardest here. Every climb though, I feel like if this was just literally a paved course, I maybe could have caught him and suffered through it. But these little climbs were destroying me. So last lap, whenever I got to the gravel, I settled in. I was like, well, I'm gonna at least get third, right? And I did, I got third. Third place, I think there was only 15 people that showed up, and I don't blame anybody that forewent this event because it was disgusting. I needed new chain, new bearings, new brake pads, obviously. But I got third, so that put me second overall for the series, third on the day. A little disappointing. I had a lot of fun. and I really, really enjoyed racing everyone there. Everyone was super nice, and this is why I really do love this category. I love trying to catch James and fighting him for the sprint. Chris, super strong guy. He gained like 2 minutes in the first race on me. And Sean, everyone there that was racing, thank you so much for making this event as much fun as it was. I'm excited for next year. Knock on wood, as long as I am healthy, I will be there for sure. So congratulations to James on the win. Congrats to Chris on the overall series victory. It's super awesome racing with you guys. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting me. And please, like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. A small channel like mine means more than anything to me. That's how you can support the channel, for sure. I will see everyone in Wilson's in the next couple weeks. Other than that, thanks for watching my Winter Short Track series. This is a great series to jumpstart your fitness for the year. We'll see everyone later. Bye-bye.